Hello there, my stamping friends. Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a Stampin' Show and Tell to share with you today, and today we're going to be doing two different techniques. I'm going to do it three different ways to create different backgrounds. So first we're going to start with triple stamping technique, which is a good old stamping technique. You just need inks and paper and stamps. The second one we're going to make our own masks and do a sponging technique, and then the third one we're going to combine the two. So let's go ahead and get started. I am using the Forever Fern stamp set as my images, and then also for my sponging masks, so I'll show you how I did that. And then I'm going to use the Sunny Sentiments stamp set for my sentiment tags when we get to the end. So don't forget, all my information will be on my blog post with the link posted here, along with my shopping link, so if you need to buy any of the supplies, you can do that quickly and easily. Okay, so the first technique is triple stamping. So I've got three different images and three different colors to use. I'm using crushed curry, Cajun craze, and shaded spruce for my three colors. So I'm going to start with the lightest color, which is the Cajun craze, and I'm using this full-bodied stamp, and all I'm going to do is stamp repetitively. You can go in the same pattern, you could change up your pattern, however you want to do it, and you're just filling in the background, right? Just filling in the space. Now I'm coming in with my second color, this is the Cajun craze, and you're going to stamp the second image to fill in the white space between. Okay, that's our goal, is to fill in some of the white space between. Okay, and then my third stamp is with the shaded spruce, and now I really want to make sure I get my color in there to cover up any open spots. So the idea is to color your background with stamps, with different inks, and fill in as much of the white space as possible. Now you can see I still have some white space, and that's okay. So the more you fill in, the less white space you would have. Sometimes if you do all of this and then you end up with more white space, you can go back with your lightest color and just stamp that space again to fill in anything that's still white. Okay, just like that. So there is triple stamping. Pretty easy, right? One stamp set, three colors, piece of cardstock, fill in your space, and then we'll go from there. So that's number one. Okay, now the second one is a masking technique, and what I've done is I've taken these three dies, which coordinated with the three stamps I just used, and I took some vellum cardstock and I die cut from the vellum cardstock my different shaped dies. Okay, we're using those three, and we're going to create a sponged background. So this is a masked sponged technique, but we're kind of mimicking the technique we just did. Now I'm using my sponge daubers, and I'm just going to grab some ink, and so I just want to use my die cut as my mask. Okay, and I did it on vellum so I could see through, so I can see the placement of my dies. If you did it with cardstock, you'd kind of be guessing with your placement. So the vellum worked really nice for that. So there's one, and you know me, I work with odd numbers when I can, so I'm going to try to do an odd number of each image. So I'm just sponging it on, randomly placing them. Right, I'm not too worried about my placement with this technique. I am rubbing from the edge in, because as you use them over and over again, you'll find that they start to fray a little bit, especially if you have like a piece that's a turn or a corner. If you go against it, then it's more likely to peel up and rip. So I'm going from my edges in, and I'm just going to keep filling in my space. See, I'm kind of changing my positioning just by rotating my mask a little. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, we'll start with 5. We'll see where we go. We might come back and do another one. Alright, now I'm going to move on to my Cajun craze. And I'm just going to start in some of the white space. And again, I'm just pulling in from my edges to create that shape of the die. So just keep working around. Now if you have our blending brushes, you can do this with our blending brushes. I'm doing it with my daubers. Whatever implement you have to apply ink, you go ahead and use it. It's your card, make it your way. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So let's see, I'm going to come in this angle, and I'm letting my sponged images overlap just like I did with my triple stamping. Letting them overlap because I'm just creating a background. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, one more, right? How about we go up here in the corner? We'll just get a little bit on the corner. Alright, so the next one is going to be our third color, which again is our shaded spruce. And it is my largest die of the 3 I chose. So I'm just going to come in here, place that right there. Again, I'm pulling in from the outside in. Now I've worked again from my lightest color to my darkest color. So if when you get to your darkest color and you're overlapping the other colors, if you want to add more ink to it by doing more layers of sponging, that would be up to you. Or if you want to keep it light so it all just kind of melds, you could do that too. So there's one. Let me come over here. Got a lot of white space here. Now you could take your time and really plan out where your sponged images were going, but today I'm really just focused on filling in my background. So I have a colorful background, but I have some shape to it as well. So how many sets do you have with coordinating dies? I bet you have a bunch, right? That's how we do our bundles. But you could also use any dies. You could just use geometric shapes to do this. You could use any of our label dies to do this if you wanted to create a pattern with your label dies. Or if you've got flowers or anything with a fun edge, you could do the same thing. Alright, let's see. Do we need any more? We don't really need any more. I suppose we could do a little more, but I'm going to leave it like that for now. Alright, so there is a sponged background technique. Now, remember I said I was going to do a combination of the two. So I have another layer that I've already done the sponging on, and what I mean by combining them is now I'm going to come back and stamp on top of my sponged images. So I should probably start with the lightest one. So I'm going to start with the Cajun Craze, and I just got to fit my image over the top of what I sponged. Okay, so this is kind of like a, oh, I put that in the wrong color. Darn it. Alright, see, we all make mistakes. We'll live with it. Okay, so I'm doing like a two-step stamp, color on color. So there's the first one. Now I'm doing the second one, and I'm not concerned about getting it specifically right on the image. It can be a little off. It just is going to be near. It doesn't have to be exact. Okay, so get my green on there. So isn't that kind of fun? Just adding detail over the top of our sponge. One more there. Okay, so 3 versions, right? Triple stamped, triple sponged, sponged and stamped. Great? Awesome. Alright, now we're going to make our tags and our cards. So I'm going to start with the triple stamped one, and I'm going to bring in my Cajun Craze as my card base, right? I've got 3 different colors, so I'm using 3 different card bases to show, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment on a die cut from my Tasteful Labels die. So I'm going to match my ink with my card base, flip that over. This one I'm stamping with a thank you. And all of this was done on shimmer white cardstock, just because I wanted a little extra little extra shimmer to it without having to do like embossing or with my Wink of Stella, but you could do any of those things too. Alright, so I'm putting this one down flat, just stepping it in 1/4 inch to kind of frame it in that card. I've got a belly band here of just a piece of scrap cardstock to match, and I'll have to trim that off in a minute. I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to use, I've already stamped and die cut the coordinating images that I was using for all these cards. So I'm just going to build these into the sentiment tag and go from there. Maybe I'll put this one up there. Okay, so let's just build that up. So again, I'm going to have my adhesive. And of course, if you want this belly band to have a little texture, run it through an embossing folder first, add a little texture to it, but most of it's going to be hidden, so I didn't do that today. Alright, so I'm going to put a belly band on. I am going to pop my sentiments up on dimensionals, and that's so that I can easily slip the embellishment dies behind it. I'll make it easier to do that. Put that here, and then I'm just going to put these on glue dots, if I can get it to stick. There we go. Just going to put these on glue dots so that I can easily slip them behind my sentiment to build up the embellished sentiment. Okay, so I'm going to put my green one up here. I'll put it off like that. And I've got my yellow one to come in next. And finally my coordinating colored one for this one. I guess I'll put that right on top. Okay, and then I just need to trim off this little extra piece from my belly band. So just open your card, give it a trim, good to go. Okay, so there's the first one. The second one, let's do it on the Cajun Craze. This one I'm going to stamp in Cajun Craze to coordinate my colors, right? And this one is the Thoughts. Thought you could use some sunny thoughts today. So Cajun Craze, the sunny sentiment. I thought that went well together. Okay, so I'm going to put this one on that same tag. Just like that. Oh, I rocked it. Try again. Flip it over. Try not to rock it this time. Better. Okay. So, same idea. This one I'm going to come in with just the sponged background. Okay? So just the sponge background, not as much detail, but that's okay. Sponge background is nice. It's got lots of colors. It's bright. It's got shape. So I'm just putting that one down. And I've got a belly band here. Let's see. Do I want it up, down, middle? I think maybe this one I'm going to go up. And I'll show you why in just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to go up. So I'm going to add my adhesive to my scrap of coordinating cardstock. This is why I keep all my scrap, guys. Because sometimes you just want a 1/2 inch piece. And I hate to cut a full piece of cardstock for a 1/2 inch piece. How many times do you cut off 1/2 inch when you're cutting your cardstock down to make them out? So I do keep my scrap. And this is how I use a lot of it. So there's that. I'm going to pop my sentiment again up onto dimensionals. Right, there's the side I goofed on, but that's okay. No one's going to know when I put it down. And this one I'm going to put in the middle. So now why did I put it up high, right? I am going to make a fan of these die cuts below. So using all the same elements for the cards, but I'm going to make them each uniquely different. So this one, I'm going to put the green. I'm going to put the green over here, and I'm going to put this one over here, and now I'm going to put the yellow one right there. Okay. Sunny thoughts. All right. Now, lastly, I'm using Shaded Spruce. Again, I've got the same elements. I've got another belly band, my base card. So this one, I'm going to stamp the birthday sentiment, and I'm going to turn my label this way. So in Shaded Spruce, Let's hope I don't rock it. I'm putting my birthday sentiment on there, just like that. This one is the one that I'm using the double sponge plus the triple stamping. And because I messed up that one, let's see if I can hide it mostly. So this one I'm going to put my adhesive on the back. Tear that down. This I'm going to want to put, see, I can hide it right up. No one's going to know. It's going to be perfect. Alright, so I'm going to add my belly band. Now I could run my belly band this way, since my sentiment's going that way, but I think I'm going to continue to run it this way. Sometimes we all just have preferences, right? So it's your card. Make it your way. But this is a really fun way to make, I just made 3 cards, right? 2 stamp sets, a couple different techniques, but all the same colors. And I'm going to have 3 cards at the end with slightly different backgrounds. So, which are all really fun to make. So you can buy our masks that are pre-die cut for you, or if you have some favorite sets with dies, you can certainly make your own masks just like I did on the vellum so you can see through them. Alright, it's going to go right there. And then I've got my same elements here. 1, 2, 3. I actually didn't get one on there. Let's try that again. Alright, so now I've got my 3. Let's see. I'm going to start the green one, I think, because this is my green card. I could put it over the top if I really wanted to, but I'm going to still tuck it behind. Alright, so there's my green, and then my Cajun Craze. I can tuck that just behind a little bit, and then fan this wood up for the yellow. There we go. Alright, so there we go. So we've got triple stamping, triple sponging, and then stamping with sponging for our 3 cards. So I hope you guys enjoyed this background technique. It's one that I really enjoy. I love the triple stamping, and then to be able to do it with sponges and making your own templates for masks and then combining the two, right? Easy peasy. So I hope you enjoyed this technique. Again, my blog will share all the different steps for you, and you can shop with me online, and if you do, I will send you a fun crafting kit in the mail for your own crafting pleasure. Alright everybody, remember thumbs up are always fantastically I'm thankful for those, and I'll see you again real soon. Happy stamping!